For large-scale operations, this can easily total in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. New lighting, HVAC, dehumidifiers, heat curtains, controllers not only can cost a fortune, but are expensive to operate. This is just the unfortunate reality of running a grow facility, but not anymore. If you've heard of a company called Green Rebates, then you already know what I'm talking about. Green Rebates changed the entire indoor cultivation industry seemingly overnight. They are the leading rebate and incentive management company in the US, and their sole purpose is to get you paid for the purchase of new grow equipment. Not a loan, real cash paid to growers. To date, Green Rebates has put more than $75 million back in the pockets of growers all across the nation. It doesn't matter if you've just purchased new equipment, are planning an expansion, opening a new facility, or maybe even just waiting for the economy to turn around before making any purchasing decisions. If you're a grower, you need to call the team at Green Rebates. They run an in-depth review of your facility to find all applicable equipment and energy rebates, and can connect you with every leading product manufacturer to find the right fit for your needs. Then they show up with a check. It won't cost you anything to find out how much money is being left on the table. Money that you can use to grow your business. Call Green Rebates, tell them you heard about them on the Cannabis and Tech Today podcast, and get ready to get paid. Ryan Crandall, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Aaron, thank you very much for having me.
So, just to start, I'd love to learn a little bit about your journey. So how did your background in tech and cybersecurity lead to co-founding Betty's Eddies and ultimately joining MariMed?
Yeah, Aaron, appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. Man, it's been a journey. Anybody who gets into cannabis has been in for a while knows it's a journey. I'm entrepreneurial at heart. I came out of cybersecurity and technology, as you mentioned, which was a high growth industry. And came into cannabis, not obviously, but, one of the personal reasons was that, I thought cannabis could make a difference in people's lives. And then, from a business standpoint, I did view it as a high growth business opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So high growth being the operative word. And you've held several roles at MariMed, from chief products officer to chief revenue officer. How does your leadership approach kind of evolve with each transition?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for any leader, it's a learning experience as you grow in any company, in any series of roles. I would say what I've learned at the highest level, I think, is going from a doer to a leader. Providing inspiration for teams. Identifying top talent and really making it so that teams are able to innovate and get products to market quickly. So it's really all about speed to market. It's all about innovating high quality products and really making sure that our customers are the pinnacle of everything we think about.
Right. Yeah. Well, congratulations on the new role. And as chief commercial officer, what are your top priorities for MariMed's commercial strategy, and especially over the next 12 months?
Sure. I would say, the top of the totem pole is making sure that we provide the best products for our customers, right? And innovate the products as quickly as we can, and bring them to market as quickly as we can. So what does that really mean in the commercial officer role? It means, enabling teams that are different teams to work together on common themes and common projects and bring those to market as quickly and effectively and most cost effectively as possible. That's really the number one thing, is aligning teams and then, getting our brands expanded as quickly as possible to as many states and as many customers as possible.
Yeah, so MariMed is doing a lot in the Northeast, and there are a lot of MSOs popping up all over the country. So what makes MariMed stand out amongst those, and what plans you have for expansion over the next couple of years?
Sure. So, at MariMed, what we think about every day is our customers, and what we know those customers want is our products and our brands. So that's really what we're focused on every day, is creating the best house of brands that really exists in cannabis, and identifying the different places where those brands can have the most immediate and most profound impact for our customers. So playing in categories that matter, making sure that we have differentiated products in those categories that matter is really, the laser focus of our company, creating, CPG brands in cannabis that matter to people.
Yeah, and can you explain CPG?
Sure. So, consumer packaged goods. So when we think about CPG, I often think about companies like Procter and Gamble, think about Dial soap and, the different cleaning supplies and all those name brands that are in the grocery store. Those companies that create those are all consumer packaged goods companies. In cannabis, we believe there are several companies, us leading the way in terms of really identifying consumer packaged goods brands that are cannabis brands, and really, identify what are some of the leading trends both in cannabis and outside of cannabis, taking those data sets and really merging them to identify, how can we be the most innovative brand company in cannabis.
Right. And so how are you aligning sales, marketing, and product development and retail operations to create a cohesive customer experience?
Sure. I think it really does all start with the customer, Aaron. Right. So when you meet the customer where they are, I think you have a lot of success as a business. So we are, I don't want to sound, repetitive, but we are laser focused on our customer. And so from a retail perspective, it's from the time they, hop on their phone or onto a website to get to a web browser and search for our site. We want to make sure we make it as easy as possible for them to find us. Once they do, as easy as possible to make an order, as easy as possible to pay, having the most payment options, right? And then enabling people to have a loyalty program that really, rewards them for being our customers. So that's on the retail side. It's all about having the best in class customer experience. And then as we merge, kind of the brand side of the business with retail, it's how do we present our brands as well as we possibly can within our retail store. And we always talk about, using our retail stores as the exact, replica of what we want of the perfect store to be for our customers. So for our third party customers. On the wholesale side of our business, it really is all about bringing those brands, those trusted brands to life within our customers' stores. So we identify, the best of breed retailers in every state. And, we get very focused from a selling in perspective on how to get our products in those doors, how to have the most shelf space available for our products, and then how to make sure that we continue to support those retail stores to improve the velocity of our products over our peers.
Yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Going off topic a little bit, I noticed that there is a very different culture, in Europe when it comes to dispensaries and lounges than there is in the US. Are you guys thinking about doing anything that makes, your dispensaries a little bit more, cultured or stand out a bit more or make it like a little less sterile?
Great question, Aaron. Are you in my head right now? So no, we've been having a lot of conversations here just around some interesting changes and regulations that have just happened over the last week or so. So, one of the things that just came down in the state of Maryland where we operate is that social consumption is now been enacted. So, we're working on plans starting this week of how to take advantage and make sure that we are participating in every way that we can to do those things. So I'm pretty excited about regulations like that. Massachusetts, for example, has got some social consumption legislation that's being bantered about for a while now. But, I do think some of that stuff's going to happen. Illinois, it looks like there's some progress. So, I think across the board, I think some of these things are going to be exciting on the retail side of the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited to see it. Um,
And to your point, more like Europe, because I've been to Amsterdam and the coffee shops, and it really is an experience that's different than anything that I've seen in the U.S. So I would like to see that experience here enabled more.
right, right, absolutely. And I think speaks to the fact that in the US, medical came in first. And so when you go to a dispensary, it sort of feels like you're going to a pharmacy, you know? And that's okay. I mean, there are obviously medical patients who might appreciate that, and prefer that. But I'm sure there are a lot of people who just use cannabis for recreational use or for general health and wellness. who would like, a little more of a laid back sort of scenario when they go in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So, and to your point, to the point earlier, Aaron, I mean, I think plants, greenage, really making people feel like they're in more of a home atmosphere. I mean, that is the decor of our stores. I mean, we're using a lot of natural woods and, stone and plants. And I mean, it really does feel like you're a little bit of in a place that's a little alive as opposed to that sterile environment. So I do tend to agree with your comments about aesthetics on dispensaries.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it'll be awesome to see. So, yeah, Betty's Eddies has remained a standout brand that MariMed carries. What's the secret to its staying power, and how are you evolving the brand while maintaining its original appeal?
Sure. I think at the highest level, it's our employees, our customers, they have passion for the brand. There's real passion in the brand, and I think we pay attention to what we have. As we take a look at that brand specifically, we've iterated it so many times over the years, and it's all been on customer feedback. So we will continue to listen to our customers with our heart and soul, and continue to make changes that our customers want to see. Innovation is the backbone of everything we do, not just in Betty's, but in Nature's and Bubby's and Vibations and all of our brands. And we're very proud of the innovation, very proud of the quality story. And I think what you're going to see from us is more of that success that we've had in Betty's stretching across all these other brands. That same desire, that same passion is really going to come through and has come to life in many of these brands already, but will continue to blossom as we get on the path here.
Right. And speaking to that, can you share any recent product innovations or upcoming launches that you're particularly excited about, Bill?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think there's some innovation right now that we're about to launch. It's called Microdose. So Microdose is the first swallowable pill out of the Nature's Heritage brand. So Nature's Heritage traditionally has been a leading flower brand in every market that it participates. Premium flower, hand trimmed, hand pre-roll, hand rolled pre-rolls, attention to detail and quality, stands for quality. And Nature's Heritage is now getting into the all natural pill game. So, think 1906 meets mushrooms. So think functional mushrooms, lion's mane, reishi, all these different things. So cordyceps and different blends of those to achieve effect, merged with cannabis in a swallowable, all natural vegan pill. We're pretty excited about it. It's a play on words, micro dose, right? But we're offering 5 milligram doses, effect based, like I said, all natural vegan and with mushroom effect accentuators. So we're really excited about that brand. We don't see anything else out there like it today in cannabis, and we are very excited about the prospects.
Yeah, no, that's definitely innovative. And, in smoke shops, in dispensaries, you can see the functional mushroom drinks, right next to the cannabis, but, you've never seen them kind of put together. It seems like kind of a no-brainer, but it's something that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we're gonna take advantage of that. We think it plays really well with Nature's Heritage story. Cannabis is from nature. The way that we present the Nature's Heritage brand, it's really all about, all natural, staying close to the roots of nature. And, there's nothing closer to nature than mushrooms. So we feel like it's a perfect marriage and it's going to do really well for us.
Definitely. Yeah. So, what are some of the key markets MariMed is targeting for expansion in 2025? And how do you evaluate readiness for new market entry?
Sure. So, a lot of growth on the horizon here for us. I think there's growth in all of our existing markets. And for those that don't know, that's, Maryland, Massachusetts, Delaware, Illinois, and Missouri. And then we have a couple license agreements out there. So we are looking actively at new state activations, and some of those may be over the horizon here soon. We're very interested in states like Ohio and Pennsylvania and New York, and even New Jersey. I think there's opportunities abound, and really filtering through what makes most sense to put on where it makes most sense to put our next dollar is really what we're focused on.
Right. Yeah, but it can be tough expanding into
new markets into new states when each has their own laws. So how do you navigate state by state regulatory complexity while maintaining brand consistency kind of across the footprint?
Yeah, Aaron. I mean, that is, what you just said. That question is basically, the conundrum of cannabis, right? Expansion in the U.S. And I think, the first or second state that you expand to, that's a unique problem. I think it becomes a skill set for a cannabis company, to be able to have a templated approach to bring brands to a new market, and then be able to, through the kaleidoscope of regulations for that new market, be able to determine how does your brand either have to dumb down its branding or change its dosage or change its ingredients. And so we are regimented and time tested as a company at this point in terms of being able to activate a new state quickly, being able to take our brands, understand how they're going to be able to get to market in a compliant fashion, and not just compliant. It's not just, hey, we crossed the finish line, we're here, we're compliant. It's how do we get compliant and then have a leading product, right? Like, how do you have a market leading product that is also compliant, that's also different than the next state that you launch it in? So that's really the secret sauce. And that's what I think we are as a company most proud of, is that as we bring these brands to new markets, they're quickly elevating to, in a lot of categories, number one market share leaders.
Yeah, yeah. And what consumer trends are you seeing emerge in cannabis retail, and how is MariMed adapting to meet those expectations?
Sure. So I think one of the things we're seeing at cannabis retail is certainly, on the, I guess it's a general term, but, people looking for larger formats. So, I mean, I think we're seeing it on the vaporizer side of the business, even on the flower side of the business. The eighth used to be the most popular format, and now we're seeing people, more people buy ounces and half ounces. The old half-gram vape is now a 2-gram or 3-gram vape. So we're seeing the formats increase. I think from maybe some non-dispensary trends, that what we're seeing in total wines and things is, we are seeing, beverage really have a moment right now, nationally, both within cannabis and kind of outside of cannabis, within hemp. So I think, that those are some things that, from a trend standpoint, that we're certainly paying attention to. And then things, to the last point, it's really outside of cannabis. What are some of the trends? So to the point of mushrooms, right? And all natural and gluten-free. And, some of those are older trends, some of those are newer trends, but we were very focused on new trends, and trend, the poppy soda stuff, prebiotic soda, those are all very important trends to pay attention to that aren't necessarily happening in cannabis. But as we start to merge those worlds, I think that's where the differentiation and the sweet spot comes for a lot of these new products.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know beverages are huge, especially in hemp. When you have a hemp beverage in a store like Total Wine, that it is having a moment, as you said.
Yes.
So yeah, I actually have relatives who would never touch cannabis, but they've thought about using CBD. They've thought about using hemp because it's available in their local liquor store.
And what state are they in, Aaron?
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have medical, but we don't have recreational. But these are people who wouldn't consider getting a medical card. They wouldn't consider recreational use, but because they're so used to drinking a beverage, they're used to drinking alcohol socially. They're a lot more likely to pick up a cannabis infused beverage.
Yeah, it's interesting, Aaron. Just like the last thing that went through my brain when you said that was, those same people may or may not be likely to go into a CBD store to buy them, but they would go into a Total Wines to buy them.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
So what's one lesson that you have learned in your time of leadership and in your role now that you think more cannabis executives should embrace?
Geez, I think it's all about people for me. Great people and trusting people and enabling people to do their job. So more asking questions than telling people what to do is really been a secret sauce for me in the leadership position, is asking people what they think and trusting in your people. I truly do believe that we have some of the best people in the industry. And if we allow those people to make great decisions and hire the next leaders, then we're all doing our job. So I'm very, very proud of the team that we have here at MariMed, and I'm very proud of, the mission that we stand for and what we do every day. So yeah, thank you to all of our employees and all of our customers.
So just to wrap up, where can everybody find you? What are your social handles, and where can they find your website?
Sure, Aaron. I think, the summary page for everything is at www.marimedinc.com. And, all of our brand pages, all of our retail brands, everything, you can really find all of our investor relations stuff is all there. And it's a pretty cool website that's going to enable you to get to everything.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Aaron.
Since 2008, Proteus 420 has empowered cannabis businesses with their all-in-one ERP solution. From point-of-sale and inventory management to compliance and payment processing. Track sales, build customer loyalty, and stay ahead with tools designed to help your cannabis business thrive. Proteus 420, your trusted partner in cannabis business success.